Hello, all you Porky International followers. Hope you're all well. Uh, After my video yesterday, I had a lot of emails, a few comments, but mainly emails, asking me what I think about the Angela Rayner situation. Uh, Now, my family would be saying, Russell, you can't give an opinion because you don't vote and you've never voted. Yeah, that's true. I don't vote. I made a decision when I was a young man that I won't vote because I always looked at politicians as sleazy, like your Jeffrey Archer types. He were in prison when I were in prison. If he weren't in the same jail as me, we were in another jail. But I always look at him as sleazy and no better than anybody else. Now, but human beings are creatures of habit, aren't they? Now, these politicians, they go on about hammering people for dodging tax or claiming too many benefits or this and that and VAT scams and that. But like I've just said, humans are creatures of habit. Look at this one here, Angela Rayner, spouting off when Labour weren't in power about all these tax avoidance schemes that the Conservatives were using and this and that and blah de blah. And look what she's just been and done, eh? So then that's why I don't vote because they're all same, aren't they? They're all feather in the nests. Now, in my opinion, too much emphasis could be made on all these people coming over on boats. Now, if you look at Australia, they patrol the waters, don't they? They don't let anybody in. Do you know what I mean? And if people say they're racist, they just say whatever. They send them back on a Qantas flight, don't they? They've got a deal with Qantas where if there's spare seats, they just throw them on there and send them back. And that's it. They just take it on chin, whereas we're a bit, oh, we can't be called racist. But it looks to me from outside that they want the vote, don't they, the Labour? So they're letting everybody in, so they keep voting Labour. They're looking after them all, but they're not looking after veterans, are they? They're not looking after our homeless and vulnerable people, are they? Do you know what I mean? It's quite upsetting, really, to see going to a town centre on a Tuesday morning to get a Costa and you've got people begging in streets. But yet, if you go a couple of mile up road, you've got bed and breakfasts and hotels with interpreters pulling up outside. They're going in to see these people who are from other countries who have hardly got any identification on themselves, pleading asylum and this and that. They need feeding, watering, and they need shelter. Who pays for that? People like me who pay taxes, and people like you, if you pay taxes, that is. So is it any wonder country's on its knees, absolutely on its knees? Try and get an operation in this country. Can't hardly get one. Try to get a dentist because they keep bringing all these people over to get free healthcare and that, don't they? They're not paid into the system. They're not vetted. Now, it's very easy to throw the racism word about. Very, very easy. And people can be very defensive, can't they? Especially if they're, what's the word now? You've got to watch what you say here. Especially if they're non-whites. They can take it to heart, can't they? And they can use that as leverage. But I don't put with that, me. I look at everybody as equal. All lives matter. You know what I mean? If you get in my way, I'm going to say what I want. I'm not bothered about what colour you are or what creed or religion. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm pretty brutal in how I speak to people. If people are right with me, I'm right with them. But this country at the moment, it's on its knees. And that's why I'm really speaking out here. Now, I'm not going to say my friend's name, but I've got a big pal in Rotherham. And he's just spent thousands on flags and murals and stuff like that. And he's very patriotic. But is there a problem with that? There seems to be in this country, doesn't there? I remember not so long ago, coppers going around telling people to take flags down and stuff like that. But there's flags everywhere, isn't there? If you go to America, they all have their flags hanging out, don't they? They don't get told to take them down. It's wrong, and we're so sensitive as a nation. And we're getting back to these politicians. This Angela Rayner, she's feathered a nest. Like I say, humans are creatures of habit, feathered their nest. Look at Jeffrey Archer, 350 quid a day. He's a lord, isn't he now? He pops over from his penthouse in middle of London, pops over into House of Lords. He has an hour there mingling. It's free food, free alcohol. They sign in. They go sit in House of Lords. They're 20 minutes, 30 minutes in there, shake everybody's hand, tell them they're all going for a bit of lunch and that. And they sign out an hour and a half, 2 hours later with 350 quid in the pocket, fed and watered. Now Archer goes over there every day, doesn't he? Now what's that? That's just under 2 grand a week if he goes Monday to Friday. That's 100 grand a year out at pot. Just because he's a lord. And yeah, he went to prison, didn't he? He went to prison for perjury for 4 years. And he's still got his hand in the cookie jar. Nobody says a word, do they? Nobody says a word. Nobody. Just let him get on with it. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm just looking at this here now. I'll get a lot of stick here because for saying this about Diane Abbott. I'll be called racist, won't I? But there's other politicians that are saying, but Diane Abbott, her expense sheets. Has anybody seen them? From a couple of years ago and they all got investigated. 40 quid a morning at Savoy. Wow, we'll pop into Savoy for a full English. 40 quid? Whatever happened to taking a packed lunch? Hey, Jacob Reed Moss, is it? Or whatever they call it. I can hardly pronounce their names. They've all got double-ended names, haven't they? Yeah, they get a second mortgage. Interest free in London in case they have to stop over at Westminster. And yet they rent that out to pay that mortgage. And then they stop in an hotel anyway. Oh, we couldn't get across London because of tubes, so we had to stop in a hotel. You know, there's always a clause, isn't there? Or there's always a get out for these people. There's always a story, isn't there? It's a bit like listening to John Fury, isn't it? With all his lies and poppycock he comes out. There's always a fucking story, isn't there? With these people. Well, she's been done, hasn't she, Rayner? She had to go, didn't she? But she's still going to be an MP. She's still going to be coining it in. But she's like one ladder, one rung off of being prime minister, isn't she? Could you imagine if Starmer had took ill and she had to be temporary prime minister? Oh my God, it'd have been a short-lived affair like Liz Truss, wouldn't it? But in a way, I'm glad she's been found out because they're all feather in the nest. They all want locking up. The lot of them need a bit of porridge. They need to go to the big house. That's what they need. Some time in the big house. Hey, you fiddle benefit system, you're going to big house. But you fiddle tax system, oh, you've just got to resign and you can stay in your position. It's one rule for one and a different rule for everybody else. That's in my opinion. So anyway, that's about it really. But I'm just going to put an offer out here because I'm not really as sharp as other people on politics or what's going on in the country. I'm having to catch up at the moment and read front pages at papers instead of back page at sport pages all the time. Because like I said, I don't vote, but I'm looking at voting next time. I might vote. I have the opportunity to, but I think it's a time thing. Do you know what I mean? Going and filling it all in and doing what you've got to do, but you can't give an opinion like I am now if you don't vote. Like I said, my parents vote. They voted Labour all their lives because their parents did. And that's how it is up north where I'm from. They tend to vote with all the families vote for without studying what it's all about. Do you know what I mean? When I was a kid growing up, I used to look at the votes. They were always between Labour and Conservative. The Liberal Dems never really used to do anything, did they? And I used to think, why do people vote for them? They never win, or they're never even in top two, are they? But this reform thing, all these people voting reform are leaving Conservatives, aren't they? They handed it to Labour, didn't they, really? But it is where it is. They're both as bad as each other. Like I said the other day, the prison population is times three what it were in 1991. So something's not working with these governments, isn't it? Whether it's Labour or Conservatives. Why don't just get rid of both of them and let somebody else have a go? That's how I look at it. I think they should let Dennis Hobson's big chum, Nigel Farage, let him have a go. Let him have a go, see what he can do. But we're gonna see, aren't we? We're gonna see. But she's out on her ear as deputy whatever, and I've just been looking on news now. Some fat bird's trying to get her. Her husband's a judge or something. She's trying to snirkle in. There's a list, isn't there, who they're saying it's going to be between, but it is what it is. Who says we need a woman doing it? We need the best possible person for the job. Because these Labour are going to be in for a while, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But I've been told interest rates are going to be going up soon. So obviously taxes are going to go up. So petrol will be going up. Nobody mentions note about petrol, do they? 142.9 this morning, diesel. Eh? They were going to drop it down to a quid a litre, weren't they? At one point. It's a joke. That was Tories, though, wasn't it? Do you remember that bus that Boris parked outside number 10 that said we're going to give 365 million a year to NHS, million a year? What happened to that, Boris? See, all they do, they spin yarns, don't they? For the vote. So it is what it is, isn't it? So, okie dokie. Let me know what you think in comment section. But the offer extends to anybody who wants to come on here and do a Zoom with me on the current state of this country. You can get it off your chest if you want. It'll be in your opinion, not mine. Let me know if anybody wants to blow some steam off. You don't have to show your face. We don't want any swearing. Just let me know what you think. I think I let an F bomb off in this, which is rare for me lately. No. Okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. It's important that you subscribe because we're trying to get a bit of traction with channel. And the analytics will push it a bit further and we'll get the message out. So hit the subscribe button. All right. And like I said, if you want to come on, let me know. That includes trolls on here, on your fake accounts.